All right, welcome back everybody. My name's Austin. You've seen this. Cryptocurrency over these last several weeks have started pumping. DeFi cryptocurrency, decentralized finance cryptocurrency especially, has started pumping. And with Bitcoin showing massive strength in these last few weeks, but especially since the March crash of 2020. Let's take this opportunity and have a macroeconomic look at where Bitcoin is headed in these next 90 days. What I'm about to share with you is not a secret. Many seasoned investors know this. They use this to their advantage. Newer investors don't always realize how the markets perform, usually 100 days leading up to a presidential election. Now, I am not a registered financial advisor. Always do your own research before investing. But with just about 85 days remaining until one of the biggest elections of our lifetime, let's discuss what this means for you as a cryptocurrency investor. What happens if it's a Biden win? What happens if it's a Trump win? Today's video is not about getting political. You can like either candidate and still like this video. We're just going to look at the data, the historical data, 100 days leading up to a presidential election, and what this means for Bitcoin. Hit the like button and let's jump in. Many analysts, many strategists are calling it now. The stock market's performance over the next 3 months will determine this election. Again, not getting political, but it's common sense. It's in any candidate's best interest, sitting president's best interest, to have a strong economy when you're up for re-election. That's obvious. And global pandemic aside, for President Trump's stock market performance is here. He has run his campaign as the businessman, as the president for the economy. And Trump right now is actively pumping this economy. This is breaking news as of late Saturday afternoon. Trump has just usurped Congress and has just signed a new order. Trump signs orders aimed at extending some of the pandemic relief after Congress failed to reach a deal. So again, as a Bitcoin holder, if you're wondering where this price could go, one thing to look at is those macroeconomic indicators. What did these 4 executive orders entail? The president's 4 orders extended unemployment benefits, I like that, provided a payroll tax holiday, some businesses don't have to pay taxes till the end of the year, deferred student loan payments through 2020, good for the students, and extended the federal moratorium on evictions. So if you can't pay your rent and you're in danger of being evicted, nothing can happen to you legally. You can't get evicted, at least not until next year, 2021. And really, this is just an extension of the same. An extension of the same relief we saw in March of this year. Keep in mind, 90% went to the corporations, went to the elite, 10% went to you and me, the people. Now Trump, who got tired of waiting for Congress to take action, he took the action himself, probably will be challenged. Trump's orders may quickly face a legal challenge, as continuing the programs would require federal funding, which Congress controls. But whether these 4 orders get the funding they need from Congress or not, to me, is irrelevant. The message that Trump is sending to investors, to me, is far more powerful. And he literally stated this. Trump added that if reelected in November, he would look to extend the deferral, the student loan payments deferral, and flat out terminate the tax, the payroll tax, which does fund Social Security and Medicare programs. But again, his focus is on the economy. This just happened. The mainstream media will probably clue the public in on Monday. Be prepared. But this all is building to something. Again, this isn't a secret. Macroeconomic investors who have been in the space a while, they know this. They use this. So let's move on to our second point. Because it's not just Trump. Let's look at history from the 1980s till today. How the S&P 500 performed over the 100 days leading up to a presidential election. The red bar represents how the market performed year to date of that year, and the blue bar represents the specific 100 days before that election. So every 4 years, every new election. So in 1980, the year up until 100 days, markets pumped. They pumped that year 12.5%. Looking at just the 100 days till, practically half of that, 6.8%, huge pump. 1984, Year to dates, market were down. Markets did bad, not a negative 9.7% of that year. But the 100 days prior, markets pumped 13.5% in 1984. And we're not going to go through each year, but just looking at these trends, and I'll link this down below in the description. Usually the markets for the year did pretty well. Sometimes the markets just stayed stagnant for the year, but always within that 100 days leading up to the election, sometimes sometimes beating the year-to-date percentages, the markets generally pumped. Obviously, in the housing crisis, there was exceptions, but generally, we see that 100-day prior rally. To get a better sense of what these metrics are telling us, in general, these findings show that the markets rose 80% of the time. 8 out of 10 times, we are going to see a pre-election rally, which are great odds. Now, let me know in the comments what you think about this. One thing I will mention, as a subscriber to this channel, you know that past performance doesn't guarantee future performance, but this year is different. This year, 2020, is different. There is a reason we're seeing gold and Bitcoin prices really doing well in 2020. It's because the Federal Reserve won't stop printing. The US printed more money in 1 month than in the last 2 centuries, which is outrageous, which will lead to the devaluation, inflation of the US dollar. Yet, for most politicians and the public, it's about what the economy is doing for them now. Again, the stock market's performance over the next 3 months, in this case the next 85 days, will most likely determine the election. Comment down below what you think. I do want to talk about altcoins. We do have cryptocurrency news I want to clue you in with. But just to finish up with the information we have now, what's it going to look like with a Trump 2020 win or a Biden 2020 win? In the comments section, please keep it civil. Please keep it civil if you want to discuss your own thoughts about this. But if it's a Biden win, we actually have some stats as of late July. In late July, RBC's U.S. equity research analysts looked at what industries would best be suited in a Biden win and a Democratic sweep of Congress. Overall, they found that a Biden win and a blue wave to go along with it was either bearish or very bearish for 58% of the industries they covered. Now, anybody that would take over from Trump, who's pumping the economy, obviously there will be a correction. Probably the reason gold is rising, probably the reason Bitcoin is rising. But surely some industries, some sectors will do well. Investors can surely make money in a Biden presidency. Basically, analysts are saying it'll look bullish for utilities, bullish for communication service sectors, mixed outcome for healthcare and industrial/manufactured goods. I'm not going to lie to you. They're saying that it is bearish, slightly bearish outcome for technology, and it's hard to put Bitcoin in a box, but Bitcoin is technology. And that's Biden. I voted third party in the last election. I probably am going to vote third party this election. But let's look at Trump. If Trump wins, what does that mean? Now, it does mean probably an escalation of tensions with China. Commodities might slump, right? Because if there's extra tariffs, farmers are going to have trouble selling goods. Goods coming in are going to be more expensive. Trade wars with China historically are bullish for Bitcoin. You can guess why. And obviously, President Trump's candidacy is largely viewed as good for corporations. He is corporation friendly, including lowering taxes and pushing for deregulation for big business. That's Trump. That's Biden. And me personally, I'm expecting a surge in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency over the next 85 days specifically. Okay, Polkadot, which is going to go head-to-head up against Ethereum, has a lot of the same leadership that originally created Ethereum. Obviously not Vitalik, not some of the main guys, but some people broke off, created Polkadot, and they have just released Rocco, which is one of their testnet environments for interoperable parachains. Check this out. Polkadot is Parity Tech's vision of a protocol for protocols. So again, sort of the internet of blockchains, very similar to Cosmos and others. Rocco, their testnet, allows developers to register a substrate-based blockchain as part of Polkadot's grander parachain network. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what is a substrate-based blockchain, Substrate is a blockchain building kit for other networks to interoperate as a Polkadot parachain. I'll keep you updated. Again, check out the full Ben Mesrich interview that just dropped this morning. We are working on getting the Winklevi, Tyler and Cameron on the channel as well, but this one's a great one. So check it out. Like always, see you tomorrow.